Hey guys, welcome to another lesson. All right, so we're going to continue on with blues phrasing. All right, so if you watched the last couple lessons, you know that I have this complete map of these different rhythms. So today we're going to cover rhythms 27, 18, 20, and number 1. And there's a method to my madness here. So the reason I'm going to start with 27 is it's going to lead us to other things. So this one has our 16th note, sorry, our 8th note triplets, but 2 of them are going to be tied together, but not in the usual way. So in the usual way, we have our first 2 tied together. So you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. Now we're going to do it the opposite way, where it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So usually on the first way, I usually say it like trip, D, trip, D, trip, D, trip, D. Now I'm going to say it like triple, 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 triple. Okay, so a good way to get into this feel is just take a basic pentatonic scale, 2 notes of string. You can start just hammering on also go back down. And try to combine it with the basic shuffle. So and also throw in your triplets. I'll often add vibrato just because it feels like I should emphasize that longer note anyway. It's one of those things that feels weird at first, but you do it for a couple minutes, you get into it, and it becomes a little more natural, and it gives you a lot more variety in terms of always just playing the, All right. So, now let's talk about rhythms 18 and 20. That's going to be your boppity, excuse me, and I've covered that one in a previous video. And then the opposite of that is your itty bop. So it's like taking your, your basic trip D, and you divide that T into, trip titty, or boppity. Again, we covered that one. This is review. So a good way to do that is on a single string, you could just descend. Either diatonically or pentatonically. Now, again, there's a reason I taught that triple rhythm, because now we can take that and divide the last part. So trippity, trippity, trip. No, sorry, the itty bop, itty bop, itty bop. All right, so this one's a little bit harder to work in, but one riff you could do would be like this, it's a classic blues lick, right? Just that, but then to turn it into a riff, add the rest of the bar. So the rhythm could be like itty bop, 2, 3, 4, very simple. Or you could just add a little variety from there. I'll leave that up to you. All right, now let's talk about number 1, which is a little bit tricky. This is all 16th notes, which sounds very simple, but it's fast, so it's hard. 8th note triplets is already kind of fast. So now you're doubling that speed, and it can be kind of hard to work it in. A couple of ideas, not riffs, but licks. Not complete riffs, but I talked about just going down. You have that kind of idea. Also, you could do it diatonically. So the first one is just pentatonic scale. Look at the picking hand here. Upstroke, hammer, pull off, and then down, and then hammer. Okay, this one is just a single upstroke. Anyway, those are just licks. They're not really complete riffs. Let's talk about how to get more of a, really work this into your blues riffs. So one little exercise could be just throwing in a single note that you pick 6 times. So just play your basic stuff. You can even just play quarter notes. And then just randomly throw in. Alright, so I could count this out like, or what's the word I'm looking for? Vocalize this like skibbity dibbity. That'd be my phrase there. Skibbity dibbity. So like 1, 2, and 3, and skibbity dibbity 1 and 2, and skibbity dibbity 3. That kind of thing. Actually, that was beat 4. Whatever. You get the idea. So that's just a way to get the feel down. It really, when you pick fast like that, it forces you to work on your timing as far as. And you also start to get that fast rhythm into your brain. So one riff here. This is a very simple example. Let's do this rhythm. It's like a 1. So 1 or trip T, skibbity dibbity 3 and 4 and. So here's the 14th fret root of my B. Hit that twice with the down up, and then there's my major third of the 13th fret of the D string. That's where I'm going to do my skibbity dibbity, which is 6 notes. And then, so let's try that one slow and work it up a little bit. So let's see. And you can follow that up with just a chord for your second bar. Doing it right, but 1 and skibbity dibbity 2 and 3. Okay, so 1 and skibbity dibbity 3 and 4. Do a little bit faster. Let's slow it down a little bit just so we can. Sometimes it's harder for me to do it slow. It really helps me to just say it first. Like, so 1 and skibbity dibbity 3 and 4. Really get it in my head. That's the value of this. 2, 3, 4. 1 and skibbity dibbity 3 and 4. All right, now what I can do with that, I can play more of an arpeggio. Something like that. What I'm trying to do is get into those fast shred licks and make them part of a blues. So what I'm doing here is just this basic arpeggio dominant 7 pattern. Work on separately as just an exercise, but what I'm doing, I'm playing the 3rd and the 5th, just kind of going right up the arpeggio, but just starting here on the 3rd, and then again using the same rhythm as this one. So I have my 16th notes right after that, and then. So that's one way to work on it. Another tip is that sometimes, it doesn't sound musical to just always start in the downbeat with those fast licks. Sometimes you can like actually anticipate and play like 1 16th note triplet at the end of the previous beat, or sometimes like 2. Like you could combine a boppity and then into a skibbity dibbity. So boppity skibbity dibbity. And you'll find all these combinations, but this is really getting into the holy grail, sort of, because we're trying to play fast and musical at the same time. So anyway, that's it for the lesson. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Have a great one.